World Cup in the desert, the first one in the Middle East, the first to be held at the end of the year. That's crazy. Get ready for spectacular moves, high-flying saves, unbelievable goals. Out of this world celebrations.
Would you believe it? What a moment here!
All 64 matches live. That's over 5,000 action-packed minutes of the FIFA 2022 World Cup Qatar. Now that's crazy. Catch all the action only on SuperSport, your world of champions. On Go TV. Love it.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills, wealth creation, and social transformation.
We have a product that is ready for schools, supermarkets.
Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Every week, we showcase opportunities for creating new products and services.
I now harvest a lot of cocoa. When I harvest it, I sell. After selling, I put money in my project. I have two projects. One is for construction of my house. Two is for educating my children.
Excellence in innovation, the passion and drive to succeed, and the right mindset to grow your business. Create wealth, transform livelihoods. Brought to you by Operation Wealth Creation.
Pick of the day on UBC.
You can only become a leader when there are problems.
Behind the headlines.
So what are we deliberating?
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Well, a very good morning to you and a very good morning to everybody and everyone out there. My name is Uganda Semakola Ziksoka. Thank you so much for choosing to join us once again. And of course, good morning to Ruben Impima Chibirango. He's just been in studios here, and I said certain things, of course, which weren't true. To all Mpima's friends out there, I didn't say anything as Mpima was actually saying. But I thank you so much for choosing to be with us on yet another day, this Wednesday morning. And of course, we get into issues now of health, away from sports. Joining me in studios is Mr. Emmanuel Ainebiona. He's the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Health in this country. You're welcome, Ndugu Ainebiona.
Thank you, Jagenda, and good morning, viewers. I'm glad to be here at UBC.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for joining me. How have you been?
I've been well. We've been handling the pandemic. The numbers are down.
Okay.
And now concentrating on other health care system strengthening activities.
Okay. What's COVID like now?
The numbers are in double digits. We have cases, persons still testing positive. I think we have like averages of 30
per day.
And also there are few less than 10 patients receiving treatment countrywide.
Okay. Yes. And these are because people are traveling, because I don't think anybody voluntarily comes to test for COVID. It must be compulsive because people are either traveling or a compulsory requirement?
No, there have been relaxation of most of those travel restrictions. For instance, for Uganda now, if you are fully vaccinated, and now we call it up to date with your vaccination, you don't need to test while leaving Entebbe International Airport. You just have to present your COVID vaccination certificate and you travel. Those without are the ones who are subjected to the COVID test. But are we still receiving cases of COVID? So it's not yet over.
Okay.
So people will have to be mindful that
we are living with it.
Much as the economy is there, we are living with COVID. And in case you have symptoms that are consistent with COVID, you need to ensure that you go for testing.
Okay, very important. Now, one final one on COVID and vaccination. Have you updated your system that people that vaccinated can actually go to your website and have access, a print?
Yes, we have a portal. It's called epivac.certificates. You will be able to download your certificate. Earlier we had the backlog, and this backlog has been cleared because we had a system called smart paper technology that captures data a bit fast. So we've done away with the backlog. Yesterday, your MD contacted me because his details were not updated, and working with our data team, his details were updated. So in case you are facing challenges in accessing your COVID vaccination certificate through our portal, you can call our toll-free line, which is 0800 100 066. You can get an assistance. What we always need is your national ID, NIN number, and also having your proof of vaccination, which is a vaccination card
that you got. Finally, on that, you remember there are people. There was a time when we were trying to find the critical mass, when we were trying to find the 4.3 million people. You remember that time? So many people went and they just received one dose, and after that, many of them did not go back for the second dose. From a personal, practical experience, at my church in Deva, we vaccinated people on the 31st, 27th, 8th, 9th, 30th, 31st, and 1st of this year. And we didn't do it again. But majority of the people that we got there, we vaccinated up to about 2,000, 3,000 people. And I hear many of them come to me and say, when are you bringing them back for the second vaccination?
So
they didn't do that.
We encourage everyone. It does not necessarily mean that you have to go exactly
where you went
for your first dose. We've been conducting mass accelerated vaccination campaigns, and we've just concluded round 3. Today, as we talk, there is an feedback meeting for all districts across the country at Imperial Royal Hotel. I'll be going there after here to get feedback on how this round 3 of the mass accelerated vaccination campaign has performed, and also get feedback from the implementers of what are the challenges, because WHO has given us at least by September this year, we should have attained 70% of the entire population that are fully vaccinated or up to date, because now we are giving boosters after 6 weeks of your second jab. So now there's nothing like fully vaccination, but are you up to date with your vaccination?
My only challenge, only challenge is the timing. I'm only looking at somebody who got the first dose on the 26th of December. Or even 1st January this year. We are in August. Honestly, we just
so you see, that is now to some extent personal irresponsibility.
So what do they do?
So every responsible citizen who knows they have not taken their second jab, they need to get to the nearest, here in Kampala, all KCCA facilities have the vaccines. So you need to get to any nearest health facility and you have your vaccination status up to date.
I don't want you to be responsible for the irresponsible ones, but mine is only about time. Is it still valid? After
You
7
can
months.
still take because
Okay.
that's why we are giving even boosters.
Okay.
A booster is given after 6 months.
Okay.
So it can still protect you because these vaccines are meant to reduce death, severity, and also hospitalization.
Okay.
And you might be unlucky that there are people who are getting COVID and severe COVID and even going up to admission. So vaccination will save you from being among those unlucky persons.
Okay. Well, that's about COVID and vaccinations, of course, and that's where we are. By September, 70% of the
Yes, we
population.
need to have hit 70% of the entire population.
September is just 1 month away.
Yes, and that's
And what's
why
our percentage?
today we are having a meeting, a feedback meeting to reflect on how the whole campaigns have been running and lay more strategies on ensuring that we meet this target.
Are we past 50%?
Yes, we are above now 50%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's not a very bad one. Let's talk about TB. Now, there's another campaign for tuberculosis, and these are some of the diseases that we do not hype or talk about or even remember. You hear about TB, and it's the first time you're hearing about TB in a whole year. What's the campaign like for TB with your ministry?
Yes, we are running a CAST campaign, and this is a communication and behavior change campaign, which is going to be a house-to-house campaign, and we hope to do it in the first 2 weeks of September. We will be going house-to-house countrywide, screening, doing mass screening for TB. Those ones who will be found with the TB will be treated, and also those staying with those who have the TB will also be given preventive treatment, such that we are able to even establish the exact burden of TB. Because there is also what they call multi-drug resistant TB. If your TB is not treated, then you might slide into multi-drug resistance TB, which is very dangerous and life-threatening.
What's the prevalence like that it has prompted the Ministry of Health to do a house-to-house mission now?
Annually, our detection rate is about 89,000, I think, for the previous year. But these are people who come. But that means they are undetected TB cases within the community. And this campaign is meant to ensure that we get a clearer picture and also do sensitization on how people should live to avoid the spread of TB. So we have a team of communicators, health educators, village health teams moving house to house, telling people about TB. Yes.
I'm only looking at what has prompted you to do that now. That what have you seen? What have you sensed? For example, when we talked about COVID, is because we knew that there is this disease in the world. It's coming, sliding into every country, and it's here. Then
And you know, TB and COVID almost have
exactly. And that's going to come into that. That now COVID is about coughs and all these things. TB is about the same.
Yes.
And there's also a wave of some coughs and flus around that. It's even resistant to some people. That the medicines that they used to work with then, I think they've overused them. That it's now not.
You know, there are people who can have persistent cough that is not going away, and that might be TB. So the reason why we are doing this is to rule out many things. First, with these waves of coughs and flus, they are not hidden cases of tuberculosis that have not been detected. So that's why this campaign is also timely and relevant. So we hope to ensure that we identify and detect a number of TB cases. And that will also give us a clear picture going forward to know that if some people are coughing, either they have TB or have normal cough and flu or have COVID. So it's part of the comprehensive treatment of ensuring that we rule out tuberculosis.
When did the campaign start and when is it ending?
Already now we are in preparations, sensitization, and this is likely, as I said, it is going to start in September and will run for 2 weeks.
For the TB?
Yes.
Will you have covered the whole country?
Yes, because we have deployed teams across the country and working with the village health team. Every village has village health team members, and they are going to take lead, but with support from teams from the National TB and Leprosy Program, which is housed at the Ministry of Health.
What is expected of the persons themselves now? We, the wananchi?
We would like really compliance, the wananchi, and also supporting people to come out. If you have a loved one who has had the persistent complaints with their chest, their breathing, cough that never goes away, then you need to provide information and encourage the family member to be part of this screening.
What causes TB?
It is a bacteria that causes this TB. I don't want to go much into the science. Yes.
Okay, and how is it transmitted? Can I, by sharing or stuff like that, you know, you can comfortably live with an HIV/AIDS patient in the house. If you know, my father or my uncle or my auntie is positive, you can know how to live with them in the house. And without fearing that
TB can be spread through droplets, like COVID, and also sharing like cups. But people are living with people with TB unknowingly. But that is, it is airborne. So you stand a risk. That's why we need to detect people who might be living with it within communities. Yes.
And you know, I'm only thinking, it's a campaign that we need to get to, but testing everybody. Well, how do you even do what? How do you even just do you swab? Do you do? I don't know. I'm only
There's sputum.
The sputum.
Yeah, the sputum, and that's what we test. But also X-ray. The X-ray scans. We do even also X-ray scans, and they can clearly show someone's lung that are involved have TB by X-ray, chest X-ray.
And is it curable?
Yes,
it is.
TB is curable. Once it is diagnosed and detected, you undergo treatment, and we encourage people to adhere treatment because it takes a number of months. Those ones with also multi-drug resistance TB, also there's a treatment, and that's why we want to go screen. If we get those ones who are positive with TB, they are treated, and also their immediate contacts are given preventive treatment such that it does not, if you have been staying with someone with TB, we give you that preventive therapy. Yes.
Okay, the other thing that you're also working on at the ministry is the renovations of the different regional, I think, facilities or regional hospitals.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What are you doing?
The number of general hospitals that are not in a present state, and we have been doing one by one based on the availability of funds. This week, the permanent secretary signed a contract with Excel Construction Company to undertake construction works on Busore General Hospital.
Busoro is in
Butaleja. Yes, and this is going to start also in September. The contractor is expected to be on site to ensure that this facility is expanded, is fully equipped, and also fit the standard of 100 bed capacity, and also have an accident and emergency, because that facility is near major roads. So in case of accidents and injuries, we should be able to attend to patients and casualties.
Isn't that what we're doing during COVID? Because one of the things I think that we benefited from COVID was to renovate regional hospitals, to all those we didn't have ICU beds. And
there were certain components, for instance, regional referral hospitals each got about 10 ICU beds and also oxygen plants. So that was a component that supports emergency and trauma care, because some accident victims sometimes go straight into ICU. So that is a component that strengthened that area of intensive care. But beyond that, there are facilities that have not had a touch for years. There is also another one in after Iganga. What is that district?
After Iganga in Bujiri.
Yeah, Bujiri. Also that facility, now we are in the phase of mobilizing resources. We've finished Kaoro, the same contractor Excel undertook works at Kaoro and did a very good job. And also we had expansion of working with support from the Japanese International Corporation, JICA. We are able to expand the outpatient departments and the maternity at Lira Regional Referral Hospital, Arua Regional Referral Hospital, and Guru. They are fully equipped outpatient units with x-rays and also maternity wings and delivery suites and mini theaters. So all these are components we are putting in. And recently, if you've been following, also we talked of the liquid oxygen. As we talk, there is a huge liquid oxygen tank that has been erected at Mulago National Referral Hospital as a way of ensuring that we have adequate oxygen supplies. We had challenges during the peaks, the first wave, the Delta wave.
And the second wave, the Delta one.
Yes.
I think just hold it here, because I want that conversation again. After this short break that we talk about the oxygen also. I was talking to somebody yesterday and we're reminding ourselves that at about this time last year, people were moving with oxygen cylinders in their cars. We were scampering, and the whole conversation in this country was about oxygen, no more oxygen, there's oxygen. UPDF is making us some oxygen, we're procuring oxygen here. At about this time last year, that was a conversation of oxygen. We'll take a break and return very shortly. My name is Uganda Semakazisoka, and with me in studios is Mr. Emmanuel Aineviona, the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Health in this country. We'll come back shortly.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
A World Cup in the desert? The first one in the Middle East. The first to be held at the end of the year? That's crazy. Get ready for spectacular moves, high-flying saves, unbelievable goals, out-of-this-world celebrations.
Would you believe it? What a moment here!
All 64 matches live. That's over 5,000 action-packed minutes of the FIFA 2022 World Cup Qatar. Now that's crazy. Catch all the action only on SuperSport, your world of champions. On Go TV.
National Council for Higher Education will hold the 4th Annual Higher Education Conference on the 14th and 15th September 2022. The conference theme is Enhancement of Teaching, Learning and Assessment with Ordeal in Higher Education. The guest of honor will be the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni. The conference will be held physically at Hotel Africana for only invited guests and open to online participants via Zoom webinar that will be shared under the events section at www.unche.or.ug. The keynote speakers are Ezra Nazim, Senior Fellow of Higher Education Academy UK, Professor Henk Gerald Sola, a Dutch organizational theorist and Emeritus Professor of Business, Engineering and ICT at Groningen University, the Netherlands. The National Council for Higher Education is receiving papers from researchers and scholars for publication in the Uganda Higher Education Review, Journal of National Council for Higher Education. For more details, send inquiries to cmuhumuza@unche.or.ug, info@unche.or.ug, or call 0783 04 0024 or 0704 80 0926 plus 256 39 32 62 140/4.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Well, thank you so much and welcome back from the break. We continue the conversation. My name is Jagenda Semakola Ziksoka with Mr. Aineviona Emmanuel from the Ministry of Health. He's a PRO just right there. And of course, talk about what is currently happening and trending. Somebody just sent me a message here to say, what's the difference between a regional hospital and a general hospital?
These are based on the numbers they serve in terms of the population. But the general hospital is always a constituency facility. So it serves an equivalent of an electoral constituency.
Okay.
A regional referral hospital serves a number of
constituencies.
A region.
Because districts, there are many districts in the region.
So you find, for instance, Kabale Regional Referral Hospital serves Kisoro, Rubanda, Ruchiga, Kanungu, Kabale. That is the catchment area.
Okay.
Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital.
It's about
yes, but
area.
there is a criteria from which a hospital, for instance, can graduate from a health center 3 to 4, from 4 to general hospital, then from general hospital to regional referral hospital. So there is a criteria, but mainly with the service, the kind of services they offer, and also the population. Yes.
Okay, that's very important. Now, just before we talk a break, we're talking about you were talking about the liquid oxygen.
Yes.
Now, what is even liquid oxygen?
There is oxygen we normally have in cylinders, and that is the
oxygen that we know.
Pressure swing absorption, PSA, the one we know. But there is also liquid, the one which comes in liquid, then is channeled straight to the patient's bed. So that is now what we are going to use, the liquefied oxygen.
Okay. And you said we have a plant now in Mulago?
Yes, we have a 16,000 liter cryogenic tank that has been installed at Mulago Hospital, and this was installed by our health infrastructure department. We also now moving to the national medical stores, because national medical stores, among the things they supply to health facilities is oxygen, and we are going to put there a 60,000 liter cryogenic tank to ensure that we have limited carrying now of oxygen, and also when it is needed, we have it and is available.
Okay, so we had a challenge last year, of course, when we had issues of COVID here and there, and we even couldn't distinguish between the oxygen that we need for life and the mechanical.
Yes, there is that oxygen that is used in in factories, but there's also medical oxygen.
Yes.
And that's why we had even to issue an advisory to the population, not just pick whatever is in the cylinder, but there is medical oxygen, and it's different from other available gases. Yes.
And so what's our situation like? Should we have another very bad scenario like we had COVID, the Delta variant, Omicron was a little not very virulent like you taught us all these things. What would happen if we had another bad situation like we had the Delta variant with us here? Do we have the capacity now to manage and handle, or we can just again scamper, run around like we used to, like headless chicken, as it happened to us last year?
You know, the Ministry of Health of Uganda is lauded world over for having built capacity in responding to emerging diseases and epidemics. We have a vast experience in handling the HIV, AIDS. We've been running example with things to do with Ebola, Marburg, and now the state at which we were in March 2020 is not the state at which we are. That's why we have been able now to, working with the Scientific Advisory Committee, to say that now the economy can fully open, because we are sure that we have built a health system able to respond to a pandemic like that of COVID. Earlier, why did we have very restrictive measures like lockdowns? We had no enough ICU beds. We never had adequate
HDU facility,
oxygen, high dependence, intensive care unit, and also the health workers had not interfaced with a disease like COVID. But now we have the human resource that has handled the pandemic. Our systems, surveillance, also built. The vaccination has also taken shape. So we are in a much confident and comfortable situation when it comes to COVID. And also the public has been fully sensitized. Even a young, my son who is 4 years old knows about COVID. Because when you sneeze, they would tell you, is that COVID? So by the time we have a fully sensitized population, then us as the Ministry of Health, we are also happy that we will be able to respond. And that's why now already we have put in place a team having World Health Organization flag monkeypox as a public health emergency. We already have a standby team ready to handle any case of monkeypox that may arise.
Now that
yesterday we received about 2,400 test kits for monkeypox.
Exactly. Now that
we have now capabilities to test this at the Uganda Virus Research Institute.
Now that you've talked about the monkeypox, let's talk about that. How do people even contract it? Now we know COVID. You just talked about your 4-year-old son. I was in Chireka at the special investigations in 2020, I think they're about. And the 6-year-old, you know, when I just came into that facility, I'd actually gone to see somebody who was kept there for some issues. And the little boy actually saw me and from a distance said, COVID, COVID. I don't know, the baby started shouting at me, about 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
I don't know why I could have had a mask on me, but I think maybe when the baby saw me with the mask, he knew that I must be having COVID, and I think that's why I'm putting on a mask. But that's how much we know about COVID. How about monkeypox?
I'd wanted us to first also alert people about TB, because that was our earlier discussion. If you have sweaty nights, you have cough that has overstayed for more than 2 weeks, you have fevers, and you're always being told that there's no malaria, you have more reason to be a part of our exercise that will be screening for this this TB. But now about monkeypox, just a day ago, like over the weekend, that's when the World Health Organization declared it a public health emergency, and countries, including Uganda, we are now getting ready to ensure that we are able to respond. Yes.
Okay, but how do you tell somebody has monkeypox, or how shall we be? Because we now know at least about COVID that people know these things. Monkeypox is talked about. We're preparing for it, but what can somebody do? Can somebody prompt themselves for a test for monkeypox?
When you have symptoms like these
the boils and swellings, yes.
The boils and swellings, then you have reason to show up at any nearest health facility to be screened for monkeypox. And you know, when our population sometimes can be interesting. Yesterday there is a friend of mine who had a rash, and I was saying this could be monkeypox, but I said before you worry, need to first see a dermatologist, because the rash could have been triggered by a certain insect that could have sprayed a toxic substance. So, but when you have boils, swellings, then you need to come out to the nearest health facility. And I think in the coming few days we shall be providing a case definition of what falls into someone to be taken as a monkeypox suspected case.
Okay, but we do not have any case as yet in Uganda.
We have not registered any monkeypox case as a country. Even I remember Professor Caleb on his Twitter communicated the results of those ones. We had a number of cases that were picked from Kisoro amongst the refugees who were coming in, and these were all tested and they turned out negative for monkeypox. But that a disease that has ravaged a number of countries, including in Europe, that means really we need to be conscious and be vigilant to report any suspected cases to the nearest health facility.
Okay, thank you. Somebody here sent a message to as just a point of concern. One, please tell your guests that I want to participate in the TB campaign as a TB veteran. Now this is from Tony Jofrowana, as a TB survivor and a TB, I don't know why he calls himself a TB veteran, but he wants to participate in the campaign. I think you've heard that.
Yes, I will escalate it to the National TB Leprosy Program, because also we want people with testimonials, because there's nothing that passes on the message like having a survivor tell their testimonials. Even in COVID, I hope you were able to see my testimonial at some time. That a lot encouraged people to go through and deal with the disease, because it helps us fight stigma.
Because ideally there was stigma.
Yeah, it helps us encourage people to know that, to have hope. So I will work with our National TB and Leprosy Program to ensure and see how best we can incorporate veterans to help us preach the message, because this is something that is ongoing countrywide.
Okay.
So borrowing from the parish development model, Owana should be at his parish to talk about TB.
Okay. He should actually be at his parish. Thank you very much. Is monkeypox a monkey disease? Another question here. Is monkeypox a monkey disease?
Yes, the name is derived from there. So that means it is a zoonotic disease which has a link between the humans and the animals. And with the name monkey, that means it has an association
with monkeys. Najemba says, I want to know, I have a friend who did not get the second dose, but he's mooting or asking for a booster. Does that work? Does that happen? Does a booster replace the second dose?
It doesn't, but that is also, it's high time the person goes for their second dose.
As opposed to asking for a booster?
A booster comes after 6 months or after your second dose. But that one has delayed to get their second
dose.
But it's never too late. We encourage them to go for their second dose, and after 6 months of their second dose, they can now have a booster dose.
You see, the feeling or the understanding that I get from this is as if people are saying, can't you call it chigwe? Let me just get over it, you know?
No, we encourage anyone who had relapsed or had defaulted, because that is defaulting. It's like you're supposed to pay your loan and the time has reached and you have not paid it. So let them go back and check their vaccination status, be up to date. And that's why now we are no longer using fully vaccinated. Because previously you were fully vaccinated if you received the 2 shots of the 2-shot vaccines. AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Sinopharm, Moderna.
Except for JJ.
Except for JJ, which was a single. But even JJ now, we are boosting. We are boosting for Johnson & Johnson.
Okay.
So we encourage everyone for extra protection.
And you see what I should encourage you?
To go for their second jab if you defaulted. Because there are people who have even come out and they need their certificates, maybe for travel.
Exactly.
That is confessing to you, by the way, I only took 1 shot. And those people, we encourage them,
the other day,
do not wait when you have an emergency.
Exactly. The other day I was in South Africa, 2-3 days ago. I was in South Africa. And the only thing that can save you is I was going to say baptism certificate. It's a vaccination certificate. And once you do not have it, nobody listens to you.
Yes.
Nobody listens to you. And even when you return back home here, to access to come back to Uganda, where is your certificate? If you don't have it, then you ought to have taken a PCR.
Yes.
And that's how serious it is now. I just noticed that people now look for it because it is a travel requirement and they did not complete, you know, it has partial or stuff like that. And maybe finally on that, I want you to also emphasize, when you talked about the boosters, you communicated that the booster is for 50 and above and maybe people with comorbidities. Must it be for everybody now?
That was tagged to the availability of vaccines.
Okay.
But now we have enough vaccines
to boost
so everybody. If you are 6 months after your second jab,
you can go
and you're ready for your booster dose, please go to the nearest health facility and get boosted. The reason why we are moving category by category was being dictated by
the availability.
With the availability of vaccines.
Okay, very
and
important.
Also there is also mixing and matching.
I was actually coming to that.
Which we have okayed, and now people are free to mix and match, but this is in guidance with the health worker. Because vaccine antigens, there are those ones that communicate and those that don't. They are not mixed and matched. And all that, you have to consult the health worker once you get at the vaccination center.
Okay. Yes. Let our final take be on
and also one other thing is that we have opened up we opened up to the private sector. It's no longer a monopoly of the government facilities. So now even private health providers, those ones that have applied to offer the vaccine are offering the vaccine. It remains free, but those are likely to charge an operational cost, which is very minimal, because the Prime Minister, I think like 2 months ago, opened the vaccine access initiative in Tinda, where you take about 10 minutes if you are that person that is busy. And the cost is about 20,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Very important. Let our take home now be specifically, as we end this, on the TB campaign. Let's have your final remarks on the TB campaign. What we need to do, what we need to emphasize, what we need to look out for, because we are on class, we call it standby class 1 for monkeypox. The government is prepared, we need to prepare. If anything happens, standby class 1. But yet again, TB is with us.
Yes.
And it could be killing people silently, that we hide under the cover of COVID, etc. So let's end it with TB. What we need to do, what is needed from you, and what should the people do between now and September when the mass campaign rolls out?
Our appeal is to the village health teams to prepare the communities. If you're a village health team and you're in your village, you need to start sensitizing the people about this campaign. The family members also need to prepare their members. If you've had people who have had persistent cough for more than 2 weeks, those are candidates to be voluntarily availed for screening, and we expect household heads to be able to know. Because in your house, you know someone who has on and off cough that never clears. Or if you are experiencing sweaty nights, you feel feverish, but this is not either malaria, it's not COVID. So you need to be available and participate in this screening. And if you found that you have with the bacteria that causes TB, there is hope, because this is curable. TB can be treated and cured. So we need to also adhere to treatment. If you're given the treatment to treat TB and you relapse, you do not adhere, then you are likely to have multi-drug resistant TB, which is now an advanced form and also life-threatening. But also we have a preventive therapy that is given to maybe immediate contacts. So everyone needs to prepare to receive. Our teams come first week of September, and as I said, this is going to happen house to house, countrywide, for about 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Aineviona, PRO from the Ministry of Health. Thank you for having allowed to join us this morning on Good Morning Uganda.
Thank you. I think I will be back for a detailed discussion on monkeypox.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, and of course, wishing all the best. And to just remind you, it's a Wednesday today, and Charles Odongtho will also be here with Behind the Headlines tonight at 10 o'clock. Wishing all the best. Stay blessed. My name is Jagenda Semakola Zekosoka. Good morning and shalom. Thank you.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
We bring you a fresh, well-researched program to help you identify opportunities for investment, job creation, growing your entrepreneurial skills,